Here's the fourth observation. You actually have a portion of your service area, a portion of Orange County, that has historically attracted educated people. Let me show you what that is and how it's doing so. I call it the Innovation Zone. It occupies portions of Eastern Orange and as well as Seminole counties. It's portions of District 3, District 4, and District 5. And it wraps around these, what we call innovation economy assets. These are assets that play a significant part in attracting innovative industries as well as innovative and educated people. They're things like your major metropolitan research university, the University of Central Florida, your major international airport, the Orlando International Airport. They're things like business incubators that we have located throughout this community. They are things like research parks. You have the Central Florida Research Park, which you know is the 7th largest in the country, and we are creating additional research parks, like Medical City. And they're around other educational assets that are present in the community. When you have that kind of collection of assets, you start to attract educated people. And let me show you where they've gone. This is a map of all of Central Florida, and I've lit up in red the zip codes that have the highest concentrations of people with bachelor's degrees. So these are people that are living in proximity to these innovation assets. You can see the 32828 zip code and the 32825 zip code and the Winter Park zip code all in Orange County, as well as the Oviedo zip code. And these people are already located in your innovation zone. Here's the concentrations of people with bachelor's degrees. And once again, you can see they're clustering around your airport and around your university within this innovation zone. These educated people are also working in innovative industries, industries like technology. And you can see the concentration of technology workers. You can see the relationship between education and industry here. And I'll go through these pretty quick because they all look the same. Here's your computer workers. Here's your life and social science workers. And here's your education workers. All clustering within your innovation zone. By the way, you can see there's a little bit in Tampa, and those cluster around the University of South Florida, which tells you the importance of major research universities to an area's economy. So when you link these assets, these people, and these jobs together, you get industries that most people around the country don't normally associate with Central Florida. These are not tourism jobs. These are high-value, high-wage jobs, jobs in our modeling and simulation industry, the jobs in our optics and photonics industry, jobs in our digital media industry, and in our life sciences cluster that we are attempting to create. And we have other opportunities, including in space and in clean tech, which you all have seen the Semitech deal that we are trying to land for this region. When you put these innovative industries in the innovation zone, you create a bunch of innovative ideas. And what I've done for you is I've charted the number of patents that have been created in Central Florida over a 12-month period that ended in November. And you can see 3 of the 4 companies or organizations really that had the most patents that were located in your innovation zone: Siemens and UCF and Lockheed Martin. Together they represent about 30% of all patent generation in Central Florida, which I include Brevard County in that, by the way. Here's the really interesting thing. We've talked a lot about people this morning, of people coming together to create new businesses, to create new ideas. This innovation zone contains more than 450,000 educated, young, innovative people. Now, 450,000 is a lot of people. That's about twice the size of the city of Orlando, and it's bigger than Seminole County. You have 450,000 of them, and I want to show you that they are younger. They have a median age that's younger than the rest of the Orlando metropolitan area. They're as diverse as the rest of the metropolitan area. They have more white-collar jobs, but in particular, they are more educated, and therefore they earn more money. In fact, the median household income in your innovation zone is approximately $10,000 per household, higher than the balance of your metropolitan area. So the bottom line is here that your innovation zone is actually not competing with the rest of Orlando. It looks very different. It's actually competing with Austin, Texas, a place where we've seen educated people already going to over the past 3 years. And it's almost uncanny in terms of median age, diversity, white collar, your household income, and your education, how similar your innovation zone is with Austin, Texas. In fact, the only real difference comes in the number of people. Your innovation zone has about 450,000 people. And Austin, Texas, in its metropolitan region, has 1.9 million people. So there's a difference of about 1.5 million people. But competing with Austin, therefore, means increasing the population in your innovation zone. It already houses your smart, educated people. If you're going to compete with Austin, you have to continue to bring them into your innovation zone around the assets that you all have invested a lot in over the past 20 years. Here's my 5th and final observation. You have a project, which you're about to talk about, entitled Innovation Way. It's a concept, as Commissioner Thompson mentioned earlier, that you all have been working on for quite some time, and I think doing an excellent job in structuring in such a way that it's going to be very attractive to educated people. And it sits directly in the middle of your innovation zone. In fact, let me pull it up here for you. It provides a bridge between your international airport and your medical city, your major research in the life sciences cluster, and your university with its associated research park and all of the assets around it. It sits right in the middle of what we would term a fantastic innovation economy balance sheet. I want to tell you that these assets don't exist anyplace else in the state of Florida. They are very special collection of assets. You have to go to Austin or Raleigh or maybe Atlanta to find something like it. It's a tremendous opportunity for us in this community. And when we throw Innovation Way into your concentrations of people with bachelor's degrees, and I've taken the liberty of lighting up the Lake Nona area in red because we know as that project moves forward, we'll have a higher concentration of people with education in that area, simply due to the employers that you all are bringing there. You can see that the Innovation Way will be the next logical place to put educated people. Here's your concentrations of people with graduate degrees. Once again, Innovation Way sitting right in the middle of these clusters of very smart, talented people doing very innovative things. And here's your education workers. It really balances out and rounds out your innovation zone. So with that, I'm going to give you three closing thoughts. My first closing thought is that educated people are critical to economic success. This is a well-established fact in the academic literature, and it makes sense to us in the real world. And we also know the data is very clear and it's very compelling. Orange County today is losing the competition for these smart, educated people. We are losing people, and even during the time when we were growing at a great clip, we were not as competitive as those cities that we are now in a global competition with. Here's the second closing thought. The Innovation Zone must play a leading role in a strategy to attract these educated people. This is where educated people are already located. We see that in the historical data. You know that you have a collection of assets there that's unmatched in the rest of the state of Florida. You know that you've invested billions of dollars in those assets. You know that we really can't move those assets. You know that we can't move that university downtown. Unfortunately, it's on the edge of your urban service area. But that's where we've located these assets, and that's the hand we've been dealt, and that's where these smart, educated people have come. So we know this innovation zone has to be held up as the place where you can attract educated people. So my final thought then is that I believe, and our research shows, that your Innovation Way, this project that you have been working on for 8 years now, can provide an enormous opportunity for you. It can be the centerpiece of a new strategy to attract very smart, very talented, educated people to this community. It's placed right. It's right in the middle of all of your innovation assets. It's probably the closest that we'll ever be able to get to creating a real Epcot. You know, a place where we're experimenting with new ideas, a place where we're bringing real innovative companies and industry and research and academia together in an environment that's world-class. And I believe that you all have really put yourselves in a tremendous position. If we were sitting here and I was showing you the data and this county hadn't taken the leadership it had over the past 6 or 7 years to bring Innovation Way forward as a concept, I think this community would have a real challenge. I don't think that the presence of the medical city would be enough. It's 4,200 jobs, maybe 15,000 eventually, to give you the breadth to compete with the Raleighs and the Austins of the world. But given what you've put forward here with Innovation Way, you have that breadth. You have the land available, and you've created a place in Innovation Way conceptually that will be very attractive to these smart, educated people. It's really the only place that we have, and I think that, that it gives us a real opportunity to say to those smart, educated people, maybe some of whom have left, and maybe some of whom are starting to think about Orlando. Orlando is a player in the innovation economy. We're going to be there. We're going to compete, and we have world-class assets to prove it. So with that, I would be available. Blaine is here with me, and we'd be glad to take any questions that you might have.